What is going on? It's RJ. I am back with another video, and today, hey, look at this. We got NFL Wildcard Weekend, Super Wildcard Weekend, as a matter of fact. It's gonna be a great weekend. We got games starting today. Today is Saturday. We got the Hawks and the Niners and the Chargers and the Jags, so it's gonna be pretty wild. It's gonna be pretty super wild card weekend. And let's just get right into this thing, shall we? So first we got the Hawks and the Niners, right? This is gonna be, might be a decent game, who knows? I mean, the Niners are on a 10-game win streak, and the question really is Brock Purdy gonna really finish out this Tom Brady-esque season that he's been having? Mr. Relevant, last pick in the draft, rookie year, gets thrown in as the third string, and the Niners have been on a tear ever since. So, it's looking like they're probably going to win, right? The Seahawks are big underdogs in this game, but they've also been able to manage some pretty crazy wins themselves, some games that they should have not won, and that's why they're here. So even though the Seahawks are big underdogs, and I love Geno, one of my first videos was about Geno Smith, I think the 49ers are going to win. That's simple. All right. And next up, we got the Chargers and the Jaguars. This is going to be another great game. Upset alert. The battle of, first off, it's a battle of the young Fabios, right? That's always fun to see. We got Mr. Longhair versus Mr. Longhair, both blonde, both got luscious locks. That's Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. Chargers are only favored by 2.5, so I think that says something. The question really is, can the Jaguars pull off the major upset? Even though it's only 2.5, it seems like it should be more. I mean, the Chargers are favorited. They were favored to win the Super Bowl earlier this year before all the injuries. But the Jags are on a real hot wave right now, and they win against the Chargers, and they can continue with that hot streak that they have going on and ride that wave into the sunset. And the Chargers really are finally healthy, besides, I think, J.C. Jackson. I think he's done for the year. But other than that, they're pretty much at full health, but I think it might be a little bit too late. So, with that, I have the Jaguars winning. I think it's going to be a pretty good game, I would say. And the question is going to be, if the Chargers do lose, what happens? Because a couple years now, it seems like they should have been way better than they were supposed to be. Brandon Staley, some people don't like him, some people love him. A lot of players, I think, seem to be split half and half. So it's going to be a really interesting offseason for them as well. So starting the day on Sunday, we have the Dolphins versus the Bills. Mind you, the Dolphins did get that win, I think, in week 3 against the Bills. They won 21-19. Some weird stuff happened at the end of the game there. But it seems for this time around, it's pretty much a no-brainer. Skylar Thompson, their rookie, also third-string quarterback, who is much different than Brock Purdy, will get the start. The Finns are pretty beat up, and they are on quite the cold streak since being 7-1. I'm sorry, like 7-3. I think they were. They were on a roll with Tua, but Tua just, obviously we know the Tua thing. Really unfortunate. The Bills have all the momentum right now. They're not just playing because of expectations from earlier in the season. The Bills are playing because of everything that's happened with Damar Hamlin on top of those expectations. So expect the Bills to really give it to the Dolphins, honestly. However, my opinion is, if Tua was healthy, I think this would be a much different story. Now, mind you, maybe with everything that happened to Damar coming into factor, maybe it wouldn't be different. But say that never happened, I think if Tua were playing, I think the Dolphins would win this game. But with Skylar Thompson, Bills, no-brainer. Let's move on to the 4 o'clock game in the afternoon. And here we got the G-Men versus the Purple People Leaders. Danny Dimes has been the difference for this Giants team this whole season. He's been playing excellent under that new system, under Coach Dable. Yeah, the Giants, they finished 9-6-1. They really cooled off since they started 7-1. That's what I was thinking of. But nonetheless, they still made the playoffs. They got in after beating my Commanders in week 17. But yeah, they pulled off a lot. However, the Vikings are also probably the weirdest good team in the past God knows how many seasons. It just seems like they're 13-4 and they're a really great team, but they just seem to they're just weird. They've won all the close games, and they have some real stuff. I mean, they had to make a 33-point comeback, for God's sakes. So if they're going to win this game, they're definitely going to have to rely on Justin Jefferson, JaguarS, to go off in this game. He's going to be the X factor for them in order for them to pull off the game. Nonetheless, like I said, this game is going to get super weird. It's going to be a weird score. There's going to be weird things that happen in this game. That's just how both of these teams have operated and played all season. But the Vikings will win this game. It's going to be way closer than it should be. And a game that should have been close, but no longer is because of an injury to Lamar Jackson a couple weeks ago, is the Ravens versus the Bengals. This is the game that every fan wishes Lamar will be playing for, and that every fan would have been excited for if he was playing, because this game would just be electrifying. There's no doubt in my mind this game would go to at least a field goal to end it. Excuse me, as iPad just died. Not died, but turned off. So this game would be so much better if he was in it. However, he's not. So therefore, the Bengals are favored at 8.5. I guess a good question is, would Huntley be able to pull this off? Would Huntley be able to he has flashes of Lamar, but obviously he's not as complete and well-rounded as Lamar is. But there's always that chance. Oh, geez, I am all over the place here. Let's get this back up real quick. And will the Bengals roll like they did last year? Or will they show off their weaknesses? Because they have clearly had some weaknesses this year. Their offensive line was still shaky for the better half of the first part of the year. And their defense too can be a little tough at times. And when they weren't with Jamar, unless T. Higgins stepped up, they weren't looking too hot. Obviously they have a lot of players that they can rely on. They got Joe Mixon as well, and Tyler Boyd, and I'm forgetting the tight end, but they can rely on their tight ends as well. But that line, and without a full strength of receivers, that offense can be a little shaky. And the defense too, that front seven can be a little shaky sometimes as well. However, I don't think that will be the case. Bengals win. Let's move on to Monday night. We got them boys versus the Bucs. And yeah, I think this is going to be a repeat of years in the past. Will the Cowboys be able to overcome their horrendous playoff stretch as of late? The answer for me is no. The Cowboys have had an amazing year. They seem to play so well in the regular season pretty often. If they're not making the playoffs, it's because if they do make the playoffs, it's because their team has been incredible all year. If they haven't, it's because they suck. It's one or the other. Either they're one of the best teams in the league, or they're one of the worst teams in the league. Doesn't really seem like there's any in between. The Bucs are also very lowly. The Bucs have been awful all year long. They've never clicked, it seems like, even though Tom Brady was still in like top 5 in passing yards all year, I believe. That offense just never really got it together. They could never score points or really just click. That secondary was beat up a lot in the year. But will Tom Brady, and I think Tom Brady will Tom Brady. The Cowboys are only 2.5 favorites, which kind of says something, even though they're way better. Everyone kind of knows how awful they do play in the playoffs. They've kind of been cursed ever since the Dez catch back in like 2014, I believe. They will need to fire off on all cylinders if they want to have a chance and win this game, and they're also going to need to rely heavily on Zeke and Tony Pollard to make that happen for them. But I just don't think that's going to happen. They're in Tampa, they're not in Jerry World, and it's Tom Brady. He always finds a way in the playoffs. They're going to make it click, they're going to make it happen. You saw what happened with the Rams last year with the Bucs. They literally came back basically like 28-3 again and almost won that game. It's not going to happen this time. Bucs are winning this thing. Cowboys back to square one. So, my final playoff predictions. 49ers are going to crush the Hawks. Jags squeak out and have a major upset against the Chargers. The Bills are going to win with ease starting on Sunday, and then later in the afternoon, the Vikings are almost going to choke and avoid embarrassing disaster. We've seen that one before. That's just their season. They're going to continue to ride high with Kirk Cousins. And on Sunday night, the Bengals will win comfortably. in disappointing game of what could have been Lamar versus Burrow in the playoffs, division rivals. What an amazing Sunday night game. And then on Monday, the Cowboys will fall apart yet again, and Tom Brady will do his thing once more. Also, shout out to me for winning my league and dominating the mofos. Yeah, that's right. I went 13-1. I don't know if you can read that name up there, but yeah, I might get kicked off YouTube for that one. But yeah, I went 13-1, and the only game I lost was like by 0.7 points. Yeah, I killed it this year in fantasy. Let's go. Shout out to me. I'm the GOAT. And that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Yet again, please pray for DeMar. He's back home in Buffalo with the team, with the Bills, with his family. So really good to see. He's making a lot of progress. So please keep praying for him. And comment down below who you think is going to make a super run into the playoffs. Comment who you think is going to win this weekend. Who you got. Who you think is going to get upset. Who you think is going to just have a run and do well in the playoffs. But let me know what you think. Along with commenting, please like the video if you enjoy it, and please subscribe as well. We're at 27 subscribers now. Slowly but surely, we're rising up those ranks a little bit, so you'll love to see it. I want to build this community, and that's really all I got. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will catch you next time with a recap of Wildcard Weekend. Peace.